So I used the old bulkheads, the main bulkheads, to trace as a pattern for the new bulkhead. Here's the first test fit of the new main bulkheads. We got that one pretty good over there, pretty close. And this one, the one I just cut, it's not wanting to go in. It's hitting up here. But I think I can trim this just a little bit, and that'll let that slide in, and should let that come down just a hair so I can squeeze it in there. Okay, so I've got the main bulkheads in there. I've got them fitted pretty much as good as they're gonna get. I'm not like super happy with the fit I have. There's definitely a bit of a gap, but I'm not too worried about it because I think that the fillets and the fiberglass will be more than enough to take care of it. So the original bulkheads had this gap through here, and there's a trim piece that goes on over this, and the original ones had this gap, but I forgot to account for that when I was cutting, using them as patterns. So I think I'm probably gonna make a little piece of wood, the same marine plywood, stick it in there, and then I'll fill that over with the filler whenever I'm doing the fillets. Same thing over here. To get my alignment, I'm using this pretty straight piece of white oak clamped on there to make sure that they're parallel with each other up here, and then down here I have them both aligned on this piece of plywood, this bulkhead down here, so they're both pretty aligned with each other, so should be good. I've pretty much got it back in the same area where the old bulkheads were, on both sides, so that looks good. So yeah, I'm just gonna fill in, cut some pieces to fill those in, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some fillets in, fill in those gaps. So the bulkheads are in, and I have all the fillets done, and I'm gonna start sanding high spots down on the fillets and get them all shaped the way I want. And then I'll come back and put the tabbing in.
Tell the camera, tell the world what you're doing.
I'm acetoning, preparing for...
You're prepping the area.
Prepping the area for glass.
Good technique.
Is it? Finally convinced Ben to come back over here and help out. What do you have to say for yourself?
We got other important things going on.
What could be more important?
A house, maybe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember when the boat was going to be ready by summer of last year. And then I think the year before that, it was...
No, it wasn't a full year before that.
No?
It was in the marina.
Last year was in the marina? And we said it would be ready by summer?
Well, it was in the marina, and then we took it to the boat yard, and then we were like, yeah, it'll be ready by summer.
And then when we were about to go to the boat yard, we were like, oh, we'll just send it to the boat yard and get it cleaned up and painted.
Waiting for the boat to get here that's going to tow us to the shipyard to have it hauled out and cleaned up and painted.
Get it cleaned up and painted?
Within a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then months later.
Oh well. So both bulkheads have been tabbed in now. Here's the pattern I made for the new bulkhead. This is going to be the aft side of the integral water tank, as well as the base for the V-Berth bunk. So I made this out of some strips of just this 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch paneling I had. I think it's a 1/4 inch. And it's pretty lightweight stuff, and I just used the little hot glue gun and glued all these little pieces on here together and made a pretty nice template for the new bulkhead. Here's the second template for the forward part of the integral tank. I've decided that instead of using the old water tank that was in there, just to go ahead and build a integral water tank. Mainly because I want to be able to carry more water, and it's also going to really beef up the hull. So yeah, I've cut out the bulkheads out of 1/2 inch plywood. Now I'm going to take these and put a couple coats of epoxy on them, and then put one layer of some cloth on them. So the tank will be down in here between these two bulkheads. That'll be a storage locker up there. And so the lid will come up. I haven't decided if I'm going to make it come all the way up to the top of these and then raise the level of the bunk maybe, or the lid can just be part of the V-Berth bunk. Haven't decided yet. But once I get these bulkheads glassed in, I'll come back and make my patterns for the baffles. So there'll be another, I don't know if it'd be called a bulkhead or not, but it'll run up fore and aft, and then another one going across with holes cut in it for water to pass through. And the baffles are just there to allow for to keep the water from sloshing heavily during like a high seas, and also to keep the noise down, because I've heard it's not pleasant to be sleeping up here with water sloshing around beneath you.